Thank you.
So do you have any comments?
Sorry, I want to make just before we talk about a few corrections. I kind of put this together just on all the things we've been doing, so in the future we have a document that says here are the steps you need to take, and we expect eventually we'll add it. Our bylaws say that we hire the executive director, but we don't have any details, so we expect some of these documents will become appendices. And once this is all over, we'll get to that point where we actually do that. But right now, I put together all the steps of what we've done and what we plan to do regarding the hiring process. And under section 5C, I should just say president selects board member to ask interview questions, and the rest of that should be crossed out. And then for II, it should say board members use DTPL director interview evaluation form. The selection committee decided not to go with the rubric, but to use the evaluation form. And obviously for your approval, but this is how we're presenting. And then in III, it would say totals calculated from evaluation forms, and then dispersed to the board members. And then on the bottom, there's an approval date, but that will be if we approve it tonight, so that will change. And just kind of a comment on the interview questions, the evaluation form and all that. We won't be using the evaluation form other than as a tool. Yes, we'll look at how all the numbers come out, but that's not going to be our final deciding factor. Just like the interview questions are a tool, and so will the evaluation form be. But then we will have a full discussion and decide on what we want to do as far as hiring. Yep, now I'm done.
I thought this was very, very thorough. I've been involved in hiring a number of people. I thought this was very, very helpful. I did have a question in CI, where the president selects board member. Is that everyone gets a chance to ask questions, or just certain board members are selected by the president?
We had, like we did with the trustees, we thought it was fairer to have the same person asking the questions to each candidate, because there's always body language and everything that goes with it, and that way everybody's receiving it the same way.
I didn't see any standardized questions. Are you going to have that?
We do have.
We do, yeah. It was just from a prior meeting.
Okay.
So we
Yes.
just had to make sure.
Yes, we approved a list of the interview questions, and they've been reviewed by legal to make sure that we're not stepping over anything.
Okay, in this particular case, since there are such a large number of questions, I think it would be better for all of us if we do a round robin, but each question will be read the same. In other words, you'll read the same questions for each interviewee.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, we can just make board member a plural then. We can just say the board president selects the board members, and we can tell each member what questions are going to be asked.
How about if, since this is a long-term document, how we put yes in the parentheses?
That's fine.
Because this is going to be a long process, and if one person does it, I think it would be burdensome.
Well, and I think even if we preliminarily approve this today, once we actually go through the process, we may make a few tweaks before we would actually put it as part of our bylaws.
Right.
But I think at least we have this to work from going forward until we get the new executive director here.
Okay, do you want to actually make the decision tonight who reads what, or shall we just wait until?
Oh, I think you can do that. I think we just need to approve this.
Okay.
Can I add one more small piece under 5C, letter I? Instead of just ending at interview questions, I think we should add approved by the board at the end of that. So it'll say president selects board members to ask interview questions approved by the board.
Okay. Do we want to say voted on?
No.
We voted on, no.
Just approved.
Any other changes, discussion? Are we going to approve the entire package, or let's just do one at a time?
I think each item, since they're listed separately on the agenda.
Okay, motion to approve the hiring process as revised.
One more, I'm sorry, 6C, but I think we can take out the closed meeting. It
Oh,
doesn't-
yeah.
Oh, 6C.
I had that on mine and
Yeah.
passed right over it.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
just saw
cross
that.
it out.
I'll look back at it.
Got it.
Now, I will make a motion to approve the
Okay.
changes.
Thank you for that.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the director interview evaluation form. The questions themselves have already been approved.
Correct. So the idea behind the evaluation form, we're going to ask the questions, but this is a way to kind of interpret those questions for us. Again, just having something objective that we can look at when we are going in and discussing all of the things. So basically, all this does is take the questions and put them into just a rubric form of an objective evaluation based on the candidate's answers that we give.
Questions, comments, edits?
I did have a question. So these questions for the interview were developed by the subcommittee? Is that how that was done?
Right. The questions were approved and then we sent them to the attorney. Or we sent them to the attorney first.
These are not the actual interview questions?
Right. That's what I
Okay.
wanted to understand where those came from.
Yeah. Move to approve the evaluation form?
I'll second.
Is that Cheryl?
Yes. And Heather?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, survey results. Somebody did a lot of work. Good job. Heather, very good.
So basically, I just compiled all of the results that we got from the different surveys. And I just want to point out that the purpose that I had for wanting to put together these surveys is so that we could get a general view of how our staff and our board and the people who are involved in this decision are feeling moving into this decision. So, this way, when we're discussing these candidates, you have this kind of in the back of your mind of, what it is that our community needs, from the inside. So that was the whole purpose of these survey results. I thought it went really well. We got a pretty good turnout from all of the surveys that we got.
And I thought this was a very useful process. I was amazed at the insight. So, good job.
As a new member of the board, I concur with that gives me better insight into the staff unions here as well as the board.
I was amazed by how, like the numbers, survey results, the staff and the board basically have 3 out of 3 where matches are 2 or more, 2. So very like-minded results.
What page are you referring to there?
The board survey results, the numbers, the
Oh,
1 through
13
10,
and 14?
the ranking.
Mhm.
Yeah, the least and the most important one, the top 3 least and top 3 most important, were very similar between the staff and the board.
With some
That would make
surprising
our job
results.
easier.
Yeah.
Because we're all looking for the same thing. Okay.
I guess, just as a comment, I was surprised as an outsider that both groups kind of ranked below prior work experience and had qualifications. That was kind of interesting.
I think, just an opinion that I had when I was walking through this, I think anyone that comes out of, with a master's in library science is probably going to have a pretty good idea about the technical aspects. Because they're fairly similar across the industry, if you will. Beyond that, I didn't have.
That's the
any
kind of
particular-
education part of it, that they apply it somewhere, and they have experience,
Right.
members of the staff.
And once they have, the 3 years experience or the 5 years experience, using those tools, I think they're very consistent. Was my own thought. Somebody else have comment?
Well, I struggled with that when I was filling out doing the 1 through 10. Because the experience, the degree, the technical aspects, yes, I think we're looking for that. But I think we also really want to make sure we get somebody with the other qualities. So I think those almost, because we're already requiring them as qualifications,
Oh, I see, I didn't realize that.
kind of maybe came down to, they wanted to put the other ones in the top, just make sure that's what we were looking at also.
So the candidates we had was kind of met the minimum
Yes.
educational work experience requirements, and now we're looking for additional qualities.
Yeah.
That makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense.
so I think that was a struggle on this survey.
Okay.
That's how I saw it. That's how I did it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't make them all.
Thank you.
You may want to, I wanted to, but
It's very helpful.
okay. Selection committee's recommendations for the director candidates.
The election committee met, and that was Jan and myself and Heather. We reviewed all the applications that we had gotten. They were required to submit a resume, a cover letter, an official Brandon Township application, basically fill in the blank thing, and then give us a list of references. And we called the references, and these were the 4 that we decided were qualified and met more besides just the basic qualifications. And these are the best candidates we thought to do the first interviews. We have some kind of in our back pocket in case it wouldn't work, but I can't imagine out of these 4 that we wouldn't find somebody that would fit for our library.
Just for everyone's information, at this point, we only have one other applicant who has provided all of this documentation. We have a number of other, actually, I can tell you specifically.
So there's a 5th candidate that's not in.
Oh, that's correct. And then we have a number of candidates.
We had a few from out of town.
Right. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 who have not sent the required documentation, even though they've been contacted. And that's
where it stands at the moment. But of course, we have left it open, Jay, so that we will continue to see applications possibly right until the time we select.
Yeah, I agree with Cheryl, that if we can't find a good candidate out of these four, that would be very surprising. There's some good people, very good people.
Okay,
So our next step will be, if we approve these, then I will call them and start setting up interview times. We had agreed at our last meeting to meet on Saturday, starting at 1. That's going to be a quick turnaround if I can get the candidates to do that. The only concern is, starting at 1 is going to take us late if we're interviewing 4 candidates.
that is a little bit of a concern. Of course, it may not, if not everyone is available the same day,
Yeah, it may go to 2
it
Saturdays.
may have
So keep your next 2 Saturdays open.
Okay, I assume that everyone has had a chance to review the information we have on the 4 candidates. So, like a motion to approve the selection committee's 4 candidates for interview.
I move that we approve the 4 candidates to be interviewed.
And just for the record, they are Laura Plummer, Carrie Ralston, Alyssa Wally, and Jordan Wright. May I have a second?
A second.
Oh, sorry, thank you. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Public comment?
Are the interviews open to the public?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought you said last time.
Yes.
Okay. And will, obviously, it'll be posted if it's this or next or both or.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
As soon as we know.
Okay. That's all.
The interviews will be in an open meeting, as will the discussion and the final decision, so. They may be real long days.
If you're coming, bring dinner. We may be sending out for pizza or something.
That's quite possible. Okay, it's 5:20.
This may be a record.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are